Thank you, Scott, for joining us today. You're from Runfold Plastics. Do you want to give me a bit of an overview of what your job role is there and what you do?
So my name's Scott Burgess and I work for a company called Runfold Plastics and I am their operations director. So I oversee all areas of the business. I keep an eye on every step of manufacturing and really try to hone in on making things better, bringing efficiencies to the business.
Efficiencies is a really hot topic at the moment. So tell us how you're approaching that as a business.
So the way the company's come forward in the last probably 11 or 12 years is bringing a lot of learning within to the company. And this has helped us in all different departments, such as engineering, management, leadership, supervising. And this allows us to aim and drive efficiencies within the business in certain ways that we wouldn't know how to do it.
What have you brought into the business? Are we talking about robotics and automation or?
So yes, we've brought in some automation with our dip moulding processes. Ours is quite a mandrolic type of manufacturing. So it's the leadership type of thing really helps, because if you get everybody facing the same way, then it's just an easy thing to work with rather than fight against.
And so people still remain really central and really important to what you do.
Yeah, so we're a SME company. We hold about 47 employees, which is kind of about the number that we need to be at. But with the whole process in mind, each machine has a person or two, and then that needs an engineer and so on and so on.
You were part of the engineering workshops that we hold here at Peter, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. So I started off with engineering to begin with. So my apprenticeship started a few years back with Peter, and then as I've gone on, I now mentor one engineering apprentice because one has finished. With that, being part of the workshop allows us to aim and give ideas about what we need as a company. So that allows us to grow. And Peter have been incredible with that, really, because we've put certain things into, such as the leader process, the process leader apprenticeship. We now have an apprentice on there where we needed somebody to take the next step from engineering and start leading a department.
So that bridges the leadership and the technical skills that you need in the business.
Yeah.
And why is that so important, not just the leadership skills?
My foundation is engineering, and we're all a certain type of person and we know best. So sometimes with that, we're not right. And I would admit that now I'm in management and leadership. Back then I would have probably, so to bring an aspect of especially like the CMI way of thinking, because we use that. I done the level 5. We've had other people do the leadership in level 3. To bring that into an engineering forum and get everybody thinking in that type of way really works well.
You've been a member of Peter for 11 years now?
11 years.
11 years.
Yeah.
So what's been the most pivotal thing to the business from being that member?
I think it's the growth and the crossovers of apprenticeships. I've been able to carry out an advanced level 3 engineering apprenticeship in CNC machining. And from that, I was able to do short courses with Peter as the company and my needs needed to grow. And that led me on to the level 5. So I was able to put all the dots together with everything that was going on and to build a solid foundation from the beginning. Otherwise, for somebody that never had any qualifications previous to Peter, they supported me through my level 2 foundations up to my level 3 engineering qualification and then on to a level 5 diploma. So it's been a journey.
Yeah. And how have you managed all of that alongside building your career? So it sounds complementary, but actually there's a lot to do both in business whilst you're doing that, building your career.
I think the best thing about it is having a good support network. You need to have a good workplace. It's always really good. So I'm quite lucky that my managing director, Charlie, has always been fully supportive of me. With him, he carried out apprenticeships when he was younger, so he understands what it kind of takes, and probably learning from some other people's mistakes to like making sure that I had the time, to make sure that I had the encouragement, the supporting around me. Family's a massive thing. Like my wife really supports me. So she's fantastic. She's always made COVID was a big thing because I learned through COVID. So with that, me and the kids were at the table and we will work and she would do as what she says. But it's a really important thing to have that support around you, because if you attack it on your own and then you've got your work, you try and live a life as well, it it's not an enjoyable thing. And like me with school, it wasn't an enjoyable thing. But with my apprenticeships, because I had that support bubble, I was able to learn things that I wanted to. I enjoyed it. So it was, when it was something that I wanted to do, it was put effort into my apprenticeship. So it made it more of a hobby rather than an actual job.
So learning as a hobby.
It has become that way. Yeah. And so every day should be a school day.
So what's next for you then on your journey?
I've taken on a lot in the last 11 years. And with that, I want to really put it into action. Like to have, at the moment, 3 apprentices working that I'm mentoring and growing within the business. I want to give them my attention. I want to kind of pass what I've been given over. So keep growing Runfold, because Runfold's becoming a better and better company in manufacturing, a place to work, and all of the above. So continue to do that. Progression in the company. I'm an operations director, but there's always another step. And then I suppose Ollie, our account manager, has had me keep one eye on the new coaching apprenticeship.
Okay.
Because it's something that I really enjoy, something that I love to do. And so I keep having a look at that. So you might see my name pop up for another one.
And you mentioned about people being really important and remaining central to what you do at Runfold Plastics. So what's next for them? How are you going to maintain the skills you've got in the business?
I think supporting them the same way as I was supported, like putting those opportunities in front of people, allowing them to know what's about. Like for me, I didn't know that every course was available. So to be able to speak to people at Peter and to be supported like that and be presented with different courses, and my mindset wasn't always the right way. So when everything was being opened, it was like you could go in that direction. I never thought back then for somebody that was no education to engineering, then I would ever go towards management. So, but the way things were put in front of me and I was able to see different development like trails, it was great. So that's what I want to give to my apprentices, to give them the opportunities to grow.
And so learning about how to manage people is very different from learning how to work with some tools and
Work
so
with
on.
metal.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that journey.
I never thought I'd enjoy it, but I love it. I was lucky enough to have some great people around me for different reasons, some for good and some for bad. And to be able to take that, I always look at the engineering thing. I took one step back afterwards to look at how I should approach this turn-in, how I was going to mill something, where with the leadership side of things and dealing with people, I now take 3 steps back because every person's different. It's amazing what a person doesn't believe they're capable of, and then to get that out of them and see how somebody reacts is a fantastic feeling. So,
and it is an art to see potential in someone.
Yes.
So it's about knowing when to switch that on or switch it off, and when they've got that motivation to really achieve it. We recognise that when apprentices have got a good mentor, that makes a massive difference, but also when they feel emotionally secure in the workplace. How do you ensure they feel secure and emotionally able to learn in the workplace?
So for people, like emotional side of things, it's quite hard for certain people to quite a lot of engineers are quite solo people. And I know I was like that. I was quite lucky. Paul Morling was a person that was my mentor to start off with. So I always thought he was quite like, this is how it is, that's how it is, until I become his apprentice. And then it changed. And I was a little bit like, oh, you make me feel okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just talking to you about work as well as something else. So to have that little one-to-one that's not about, is that job done? Is that okay? Are you finished? To see, how's your weekend? How's everything going? To learn a little bit like what their kids are called, what their family's called, what they do at weekends, just to make them feel appreciated. Because as well, I kind of want that as well. I want them to say, how are you today, Scott? Not, oh, here's the boss. I'll just be quiet. I won't say nothing. So I hold that, not just apprenticeships, throughout the whole company. So,
and how's that been adopted or supported from the senior leadership team within Runfold?
So it's really well promoted.
Right.
Because we've got 47 people, we all know each other's names. Charlie knows everybody's who's got kids. Charlie would know. So it's easy for me to do when everybody else is doing it. So it's a very small leadership team, but we get together, we chat, we have a Christmas party, which is very just together. rather than there's your engineers, there's your production staff, and here's your management. It's all about just appreciation. And I think that's probably where it all starts from, is everybody feels appreciated.
Yeah.
So everybody feels like they can be heard. And those that don't want to be heard, because some people don't like speaking up, we put an integrated system into our company to allow them to put out a private message to management and things like that. So it's supporting people's needs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great, and certainly underlines that as people embark on an apprenticeship scheme or a training scheme and transformation, if it starts from the top and is focused on people, it makes a big difference. So, given that you mentioned that you didn't enjoy school particularly,
Yep.
What made you undertake an apprenticeship programme?
I'll be honest, when I started work at Rumfold at 16, I had no education, and from that it was just to get a job that was going to pay me. So I stuck my head in every single door on the trading estate, and Rumfold was the first one to call me back, and nobody else did until the following day after Rumfold employed me. So from that, every department I worked in, I realised that I just kind of wanted to be better than other people at it. If somebody done 10 of them in an hour, I wanted to do 11. Or if somebody done it in half an hour, I wanted to do it in 25 minutes. So I progressed through the company and then realised I kind of hit a dead end, and like I never had any qualifications. So I never had something that put me in a place that showed pure competency. Engineering has always been an interest of mine because of seeing it. Being able to make something from start to finish and it work is a great feeling. So with Paul Morling was interviewing people at the time. So I I applied for the job, and then I had to be honest with my company and say I told a little lie on my CV and I don't have any maths or English GCSEs. So when I started the apprenticeship, and what got me into it was other people that had done it had sold it to me and said, look, you could do this, you can earn money, you can learn, and you're going to get something that's going to be a foundation that's going to hold you for the rest of your life. And it has. So far, like I have opportunities to go into different fields of work because of the learning that I've undertook. I've got opportunities to, I don't know, go to another country and work because I hold a qualification that's recognised. So all in all, if it wasn't just for the money to be paid to learn something, it's the bit at the end of it that somebody's going to pay you more and you're going to be a better person because you've got that and your thought process with it.
You, in 2024, received the Paragon of the Year award in the Peter AZ Awards. What did that mean to you?
When I was awarded with it, I'll be honest, it was the closest that I've probably ever come to crying in public, because to listen to my MD shocked me, because I was a little bit like, he's disappeared. Where's he gone? And then all of a sudden he turns up on the screen and says some amazing things for somebody that supported me and somebody that's paid for this and allowed me to leave the company and supported my workload with this. It was great. I didn't know what a paragon was when it was said. Okay, fair. I'll be honest. Well, there's an internal joke between me and my wife. It's about a padron pepper, because that's what I thought somebody said. So she has me a frame. It's in my office, and it says to the world's best padron pepper, and it's next to my award. But it was absolutely amazing to be not just recognised for something, but to be recognised as this 11-year growth and everything underneath it, and like to integrate with now what I'm doing for others, as well as being my mentees, was a great feeling. It was fantastic. It was a sleepless night. So
good. Well, it was well deserved.
Yeah,
so congratulations. So what's next then? So we at Peter are always looking to the future, and at Rumfold Plastics, I'm assuming you are too. So what's next for Scott, and what's next for Rumfold?
For me, it's a little bit like putting everything into action, to play this, to take everything that has been given to me and then put it into a way that I'm kind of paying back. Yeah. Paying back the business, as well as paying back the industry, paying back the people that have supported me throughout the company, that to be their mentor, to carry out, get people on courses, to give people what I've got. And the company as well is going in the same direction, and it's a really nice feeling because the company continues to say, right, we're now looking at this area in the business. Can we get an apprenticeship scheme into here? Can we bring somebody? We currently just our quality supervisor was somebody that come in and he was a general bod on the shop floor. Now he's in charge of our quality department and is carrying out a level 3 supervisor apprenticeship with Peter. So to continue that within the company is only going to allow the company to grow.
And you also mentioned coaching. So coaching is something you're interested in. Talk to me about coaching culture. Is that something that you support? So why is that important?
I mentioned it a little while ago about thinking that you're right with everything, and are we? And I think with coaching, it allows for that freedom of speech. It allows for somebody that's done it to be able to offer those skills, knowledge and behaviours that we just go through it and think, I'm doing that the right way. But with coaching, rather than telling somebody, if you coach them, you instill it. So it will stick with them. And hopefully that will not just change their work life, but change, like the way some people have done it for me. It's changed my life at home. So...
yeah, and I'm fascinated about how work life and home can the skills you learn on each can support with each. I also find it really interesting that I've worked with apprentices now for 25 years, and research regularly suggests that the younger you learn leadership skills, the better, because you're prepared to adjust and adapt. And interestingly, as you've talked through what you've learned and achieved, you were probably 2 or 3 years ahead of any uni graduates, I guess.
I think there's a massive... I have a lot of friends that went to uni.
Yeah.
And from that, they've done similar courses to me. They're not in the similar roles now. Some are in completely different roles than what they studied.
Yeah.
And now paying for their courses still. And it's a little bit like, I managed to do that. Now I've practiced what I was preaching. Now I'm preaching what I've practiced.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting paid. And I'm in a position that warrants what I have achieved. Where sometimes I don't think the uni way is the great. I'm sure that in some ways it's a fantastic thing. For me, for Rumfold, I don't think it was the right, any choice of that. I think to learn on the job, deal with real life scenarios.
And so you, we talked a little bit at the beginning about automation and AI and other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So are you on a journey within Rumfold there, or is that secretly guarded?
I don't think it's secretly guarded. I think that some people, when they look at the AI and the automation thing, think of this big crazy robot that's going to do everything and nobody's ever going to work again and we're all not going to live because robots are going to take over the world. Where AI can be something as simple as Grammarly that you're using on an email. It can be something like the automation side of things that it would be amazing for anybody to say in a manufacturing process they don't use automation, because there will be some sort of it. They hear these words and I think they're frightened of them. So yes, we are using automation and you need to move with the times.
Yeah.
So don't be frightened of it. Do it like an apprenticeship. Grab it with both hands and take the ride.
What's really interesting is you've spoken about bite-sized chunks, small things you do, not a big thing. So how do you support your team with that? Those that are scared, how are you supporting them?
I think it's that coaching bit, is supporting somebody. If you can speak to all of your members of staff, you know the ones that are going to go, yeah, but I've been doing it like that for 30 years. So let's have a discussion. What bit of it don't you like? Now, what bit of it don't you like? Because it's the bits when you're doing that job that you don't like, that if we can put an automation or we can put something, an AI version in it that removes that from you, surely it's a nicer job, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm not taking any money off of you. I'm going to pay you the same money and you're going to do a job that's easier. Oh, okay. All right. That's
what to like about that, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think it's some of these people that are a little bit frightened, don't realise what it is, and it's there as an aid rather than a takeover.
So what advice would you give to somebody who is coming through your route now? What would be the one thing that you would say to them?
Grab it with both hands. If it's there and you think that that is a route that you want to take, by route, I don't mean an apprenticeship. I mean as in something that you're going to put your effort into. If you feel like you like engineering or you like that thought process, grab it, because I don't think there's any better type of learning than an apprenticeship. I don't think that you'll ever gain in anything else you do more knowledge, skills and behaviours than you will in a 3-year apprenticeship. I worked solidly for about 10 years. Then I went on to a 3-year apprenticeship, and I learned more on that 3 years than I did in the previous 10. So I'd just say go for it. Any age. Don't be frightened of age, because I went into a classroom full of 16, 17-year-olds and I was 26. So, and it's a great place to be.
And at Runfold, are you considering the apprenticeship levy flexing?
I think the levy flexing is a great thing. And if there's money in a pot, I think everybody should get a chance to use it. I don't think it should always be a holdback for a company to say we can't do this because we're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Where we touch on with something like that, the Peter course for process leader, where you crossed over it, it's got the HNC and things like that. It's such a promotion thing. It's such a great thing for an individual to gain. Would somebody have done the HNC if it was corporate or something like that? But to have that as an apprenticeship scheme and to jump on the levy, it's a fantastic opportunity. So I think anything we can do as providers, as companies, to support financially to apprenticeships to gain more, then we should do it.
So it sounds like you've got a really good succession plan in managing your skills for the future. It does seem to be a general theme in engineering and across the country that people regularly talk about, the skills gap. Is that something that worries you?
We talked about this a while ago at Runfold, because the skills gap used to be like, you're missing a generation type thing. I feel like we went through a bit of a skills gap a while ago, and now I'm getting all of these, the younger ones or people that are my age or older taking on apprenticeships. And I think the more apprenticeships that are promoted, it's made it, and the levy has made people able to do such things. So with the skills gap, it doesn't frighten me, because we have a lovely matrix within the business where we keep an eye on everything and just make sure that we're doing everything for the business's needs.
So you regularly review your skills across the business in a matrix?
Yeah.
So a hint and tip for other organisations, that's the way?
Yeah. Well, it could be. It'd be scary if they're not doing it.
Anything else you think would be useful for our listeners to take away today?
If Peter don't do a course that you're after, don't be afraid of speaking about it. Because, as I said about the H&C, we spoke about it in peers groups. Yeah. Peter made it happen. There's other courses. I bought in some coaching for one of my junior sales guys, which was absolutely fantastic. It's not on the internet, but Peter made it happen and it's really worked well. So it's not just about what the front page says. Have a chat. Just speak about your needs, because Peter's always done Runfold and myself a really good turn.
Thank you. It's been great to speak to you today, Scott.
And you.